Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming by. We are on part 20 of the series Common Sayings that are from the Bible. So this one is spare the rod and spoil the child. So this is from Proverbs 13:24. And have you guys heard that? Have you said it? I've definitely heard it. I probably first heard it. We were going to a church years ago, and the pastor there did a whole sermon on, excuse me, like discipline, disciplining children, raising them basically, how the Bible says to. And so that sticks with me. And they had a little girl, maybe 4, and they just had a baby boy. And then I think the following year she was pregnant again. So, and that was 10, 12 years ago. So don't know what they're up to now, but I know back then they were really strict, as far as a better word, for lack of a better word, with the way they were raising, especially the girl, because she was old enough to, learn right and wrong and all those things. And yeah, I could see that. I can see the benefit of kids being raised like that. My parents definitely were strict. I would say my dad especially. And yeah, they did not spare the rod. I will say that. Yeah, my brother and I got spanked so many times, got in trouble so many times. There were always consequences for our actions. And even if we didn't fully act on something, maybe if we thought about doing something, I think we still got in trouble for even thinking about doing something. But I can tell now that being raised in a strict household, it's very different than, say, kids that are raised nowadays in 2025 or even 10 years ago, where they can just do whatever. They run wild. They, walk all over their parents. My gosh, that could be a whole series in itself. But I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying. You guys probably agree. I will get into this, but let me know if you've heard that saying, what you think of it, and if you were raised in a strict household as well. Okay, so, excuse me. So this verse is the origin of the controversial English phrase, spare the rod and spoil the child. So let's read the verse right now. All right, Proverbs 13:24. Okay. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. Okay. So I think chasteneth means correcteth. So he that loveth his son corrects him. Okay. So, all right. So the paraphrase is the spare the rod, spoil the child, which that Proverbs turned into. Okay. So the paraphrase is usually quoted in defense of corporal punishment, which is the use of spanking or other physical means of discipline. In literal terms, this verse is a reference to corporal punishment. It is not, however, only about physical discipline, nor is it meant to justify forms of discipline that cross the line into abuse. The primary purpose of this statement is to endorse loving discipline. And that's what the verse talks about. He that loveth his son corrects him. And there's a bunch more verses in the Bible. Like I said, this pastor did a whole sermon on, disciplining children and raising them in the biblical way, and which they consider the correct way. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. This is, I don't know if you'd say a controversial topic. Maybe nowadays, people will say, oh no, I would never spank my kid. I will never, yell at them. I will never, whatever it is. And I think that's way different than when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s. And then my parents growing up in the 1940s and 1950s. Yeah, I think it was very different. And I think as we move forwards through like society and culture, it just seems to be getting more relaxed and lenient. And yeah, that could, excuse me, in my opinion, be a detriment to society. I think we see, I know I see stuff on the news and I don't even look for it. It just, it'll pop up and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I said, I can go on and on. But let me know what you guys think about that. And like, yeah, if you were raised in a strict house, if you raised your kids in a strict household, if you don't agree with this verse, no judgment from me. I'm just saying I know how I was raised. I didn't like it at the time, things being so strict and, getting in trouble and getting spanked and all that. But it did make an impression and taught me things, as well as my brother. It would be traumatic just seeing, like, if he got spanked, to a kid, then, you get really upset and because you feel for them and it's a whole thing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think and I will see everyone in the next video. All right. God bless.